Hello dear students, in this particular module we are going to discuss explanation for result of monohybrid cross. So students, as we have already studied, Mendel started with pure lines. Pure lines meaning the parental tall will always have a genotype of capital T and the parental dwarf will always have a genotype of small t. Further, not only this, Mendel also confirmed that the parents are true breeding. Now, what did he mean by true breeding? True breeding meaning the parental tall should always give rise to offsprings with capital T and the parental dwarf should give rise to offsprings with small t. Now, after he proved that the pure lines are true breeding, he further crossed them. During crossing, the pure lines produced gametes. Now, during gamete formation, the factors separate. Let's see how. The parental tall give rise to gametes containing same type of factors having the dominant trait, and similarly, the parental dwarf also produce gametes having same type of factors for recessive trait. Now, all these factors are seen to have a single type of gamete. Further, these gametes fuse to form the F1 generation. The F1 generation is seen to have a combination of both dominant trait and recessive trait. Hence, the F1 generation is a hybrid. Now, due to dominance, all the plants in the F1 grew to be tall. Further, this F1 generation underwent selfing. During the selfing of the F1 generation, the F1 hybrid tall, that is, the hybrid having capital T and small t, gave rise to further two types of gametes. The two types of gametes were one having a dominant trait and the other having a recessive trait. Now, they always formed in an equal proportion, meaning the 50% male gametes were with dominant trait and the 50% male were with recessive trait. Similarly, the 50% females were with dominant trait and 50% were with recessive. This was thanks to the fact that the pea flowers are bisexual. Now, these gametes underwent random fusion. Now, let's see what does random fusion mean. It means that each type of male gamete has an equal chance to fuse with the female gamete. That is, the 50% male will fuse with the 50% female and vice versa, thus producing a F2 generation with 4 combinations showing 3 genotype. That is, 1 is a homozygous tall, 2 are heterozygous tall, and 1 is homozygous dwarf. Now, out of these 4 combinations produced in the F2 generation, 1 can said to be pure tall, 2 are hybrid tall, and 1 is a dwarf. So, only 1 out of the 4 offsprings receive the recessive trait, that is only 25%. This gave rise to the genotypic ratio of 1 pure tall is to 2 hybrid tall is to 1 pure dwarf. This further also gives rise to a phenotypic ratio where 3 appear to be tall whereas 1 appears to be dwarf. Thus, a ratio of 3 is to 1. Now students, out of these two ratios, which one do you think is a monohybrid ratio? As we have already studied, a monohybrid ratio is the phenotypic ratio appearing in the F2 monohybrid. So the parentals give rise to F1 generation having all tall plants sons due to dominance, and F2 generation having a combination of both tall and dwarf, but in the ratio 3:1, which is said to be the monohybrid ratio. So students, here we are done with the explanation for result of monohybrid cross. Now let us see the graphical representation for the same for a better understanding. Thank you.